and Vice President Director in 7 months and 5 days, Brittney Mettke.
Amazing, amazing. So hi everyone, I'm Brittney Mettke, and honestly, when I was asked to speak, my first thought was no. And it's because, not because I didn't love pharmacy or wasn't excited, but because I still struggle with that comparison trap. I saw myself as a baby. I've only been here 7 months. I don't have thousands of followers. I'm not an influencer or anything like that. However, my story's messy. It's not polished. It's not perfect. It's nothing like that. But what I do know is I'm real. And a lot of you guys are too, right? We all have that messy story. And I have a story of where I've had to build from the bottom up several times. And I know what it's like to think you have your footing and then it just be ripped from you. And so when I think of what I want you to take away today, it's going to be, 1, if Brittney can do this, I can do this 100%. And then 2, you can't just sit around and wait for momentum to be handed to you. It's not magic, it's in you. So the magic is in you, and it's a choice. So you have to make that choice. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my story. My life has been a cycle of highs and lows, really dramatic ones. I didn't realize I'd have those mugshots so big back there. But I grew up in a military family, and that was great. And by the time I was 17, I started making some really poor choices. I dropped out of high school, started hanging out with the wrong crowd. And by the time I was in my early 20s, I found myself really wrapped in the depths of addiction. I was addicted to IV heroin and crack, and I was in and out of jails. I was homeless. I was stealing to survive. And I really didn't think I'd have a way out. I was getting in trouble, and at that point I had these 7 felony convictions, and those haunted me. So I felt like I just never had a way out. And I was on probation for felonies, and my rock bottom in this happened in 2009. I made the decision to kind of go on the run, you guys, and not smart, would never advise that. And that day, I knew it was gonna be the end, and I honestly woke up that day I made the decision that I was gonna end my life. And then there were these pounds on the door, doom, 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 doom. And it was the US Marshals. And they were like, Brittney Mettke, and that day I really surrendered. And that day was kind of the beginning of where I was arrested, but I also feel like I was rescued. So I was in jail, so humiliating, humbling for a long time, thinking if I was going to end up going to prison for 7 years. So think this, I'm 24 years old, and I'm waiting to find out if I'm about to spend 7 years in the penitentiary. And also I made the decision that no matter what happened, whether I got a chance or not, that I was absolutely done with that life, no matter what it looked like. So that was true surrender and wanting to make a different choice, right? And so I was very fortunate when I went in front of the judge at the time, and he was like, Brittney, I see something in you. I really want you to do big things with your life. And he believed in me when no one else believed in me. And I think of that often. And he gave me another chance when a lot of people don't. So from there, I went to a halfway house. I'm still on probation, and I'm rebuilding my life. And if anyone's ever been in recovery, you're rebuilding your life when you make that choice, no matter how old you are. And so at this point, like, I'm in my 20s, I'm a single, I ended up getting pregnant, I'm living with my mom, my baby's in a bassinet in a spare bedroom, and I'm working at Red Lobster, you guys. You see, I have those 7 felony convictions, I'm a high school dropout. That was my life, but I was happy because all that stuff was in the past. And let's kind of fast forward a little bit. That wasn't enough for me, and so now I come to the point where I have 4 children, still working at Red Lobster 10 years later, just wanting more. And at this point, I'm on food stamps, Medicaid, WIC. 2 of us are living in a 6-bedroom apartment, and yes, I was clean, but I knew I wanted more, and I just couldn't get to the next step. And I was so excited because I'd been working at Red Lobster for 10 years, they were like, we're gonna offer you a job to be a manager. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, that's awesome. And they were like, you'll get paid $60,000 a year and you'll get benefits. And they could have told me they were about to give me $1 million a year at that point. So I was like doing all the training and all this stuff and so excited. And then I get a phone call that the legal department decided not to move forward with me because of those 7 felony convictions. And that just kept happening. And I honestly probably felt as low in that moment as I did when I first got clean, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I got clean for this, and I made another choice. And that actually is kind of what redirected me to find this industry, because network marketing doesn't care what your past is. It cares what you're doing today. And I knew I was a hustler. I knew I was open to learning. I knew I was hungry. And so I'm like, it was really an accident, but it seemed to be a perfect fit, because I'm like, just tell me what to do, ma'am, and I'm gonna do it. I'm like learning all the things. So eventually I find, now we're like 2017, I find my first company, and I'm telling you, I was doing everything they told me to do, I did, and then some. And at this point, I had only 200 friends on Facebook. Again, kind of a rookie. I made a lot of mistakes. I cringe when I look at those posts back then, but I was making them. And I talked to every single person about what I was doing and what I believed could happen for me. And momentum started to pick up. It started to pick up. And then within 2 years of that company, I was making what I was hoping in a year in a month. And we built something huge. So in about 6 years of that company, I ended up building a team that about 35,000 reps. We had about $400 million in sales, our team. And I personally earned over $5 million. So you're talking about a girl from food stamps welfare to literally being able to buy a home, say yes to my children, take them on trips, everything. And I actually was able to pay for an attorney to get those 7 felonies expunged. So no one has to know about them or use those against me unless I decide to tell that part of my story. Yes, girl. So listen, again, I'm on top of the world, right? Everything's going great. And I get this email January 31st of this year. And it's like, hop on the Zoom later, very like hidden. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder what's gonna happen. And no warning, no real explanation. In 30 days, the compensation plan was changing. And leaders that built so much were now only going to get paid on their first level. 90% of my income was going to be gone in 30 days. That was January 31st. Why I see everyone panicking. I've had these experiences in my life of things being ripped. I'm like, well, I got to figure out what to do. I know I've built before. Where are we going to go? And we had so many options, but I kept being pulled to pharmacy for some reason, and it's the right reason. I saw people winning. I saw the trust in the company. I saw the consistency in everything, the tricks, the culture, the welcoming. So, like she said, 7 months and 5 days ago, I signed up for pharmacy. You know, there was a lot of leaders not sure what to do, but I'm so proud, and I truly feel we made the right choice. Because momentum is a decision that you make. You can decide to sit in the bitterness, in the pit, in the victimhood, or you can just decide to go and hustle. And that's what we decided to do. And I really do feel like our team is an example of that, right? Of that momentum building. Momentum shows up when you choose for it to show up. That's really it. I always say you can't wait for it to get delivered to you like a pizza. You have to go after it. And in less than 8 months at pharmacy, our first month we were diamond manager, in May vice president manager, July vice president director. You know, I personally enrolled 300, over $5 million in retail sales, 20 front line directors, over a dozen turkey trip earners. And I'm so freaking proud of our team. And this is just a short time, so again, I want you to know there are people out here on my team that have never had success in the industry that they've been in for years, getting checks with commas, earning trips, walking the stage, and that's never happened.
Yes.
And I've been with them. And pharmacy allows it to happen, you guys. And so what was really important, and I think what stood out to me is, like I said, always remember you have to decide about momentum. You don't wait for it to happen. What does that look like? What are the daily choices you're making? And for me, I think when you're a leader, and I honestly believe that everyone here is a leader no matter what your name tag says. If you made the decision to come here and you invested in yourself, you're a leader, right? So it's not just about you, it's about what you create for your team. And so that's why from day one, I really focus on culture, leadership, and vision. And I do believe that a leader can paint that vision for your team. That's what they want. And so I wanted to create a space that people would not leave. And the Real Dream Team, we do have a mission and vision statement that I share that I want everyone to know and I want you to see. So our vision is we want to build a radically authentic community where people break self-limiting beliefs, create a life of impact, freedom, purpose together. And so when we're sharing pharmacy, we're also sharing that vision. We want people to join the vision. And our mission is the Real Deal Dream Team is more than a business, it's a movement. We lead with intention, we sell with heart, we empower others to grow boldly and dream bigger, and the biggest thing is help as many people along the way. And this was like a day one thing, so I wanted to create that momentum. I'm constantly asking myself, do I reflect this? When I'm making a decision, does my leadership reflect this? And I will say the proof is, in 7 months, we've grown to over 5,000 influencers. And to me, that's momentum. But what I'm most proud about is we're all just real people from all walks of life. We're not celebrities. We didn't have this special education. And that's what I love about network marketing. And that's our team. And that's who we want to attract. Is you guys, I'm just you hear my story, right? High school dropout. But we just showed up as real, the real deal, and that's our team. But that's also the power of mission, vision, and culture. And that's also how you sustain momentum. You're showing that every day. So when I'm showing pharmacy, people, you want them to want to join something they just want to be a part of. So it's the company, but it's also your team when you're showing up for them as well. So, I gave a little, I gave a little inspiration, but I also want you guys to leave kind of with some practical action steps on what you can do to create momentum every single day for your business. I want you to leave here with a plan. So whether that's when you're at lunch or wake up tomorrow, I want you to work this business every single day like it's the first day you signed up. What does that look like? Who are you talking to? Treat every product like it's being launched today and share that fresh excitement that you can feel. Be a product of the product. So that's going to help you create daily momentum. You're just so excited. And so I also want you to have a list of minimums that you're going to do for your business every single day. So the goal is always going to be to do more, but at least do this. You're going to use the products, and you're going to post when you're using the products. You, not a graphic, just jump in. It doesn't have to be perfectly polished, but people want to see you. Take them on the journey. So do that. Reach out to at least 3 to 5 people about pharmacy, the products, the business opportunity. I heard you're looking for something for energy. Have you found something for your skin? It's really genuine. And then follow up with one person on your list, meet a new person, and you're going to friend request them, you're going to be connected, and then make sure you're staying connected with your leaders. Like, dig into them, and I'm saying, like, this is your minimum list that you're going to do on a daily basis. And if you talk to my team, they're going to say, Brittney, how are you so consistent? It's just this list. It's not crazy. It's not magical. Some days I do more, some days I do less, but I do it every single day. And these small daily actions are what compounds to get unstoppable momentum. Momentum isn't something that you wait for, it's something that you choose every single day. So tomorrow morning, I want you to kind of ask yourself, am I committed to treating this business like I just signed up day one, no matter how long you've been here, no matter what your title is? Will I bring excitement to people, something so excited that they want to be a part of it too? Am I going to lead with vision and build a culture that people just cannot resist? Because listen, if a girl with 7 felony convictions who once sat in jail, hopeless, homeless, can rebuild again and again and again and again, you can too. So let's go out and build some momentum.